Oh, this guy.
Yeah, I know, right? The 2023 Charles Oakley, Draymond Green, man, can't get out of his own way. Uh, he has been suspended indefinitely by the NBA for literally punching. I don't know if he's a forward or a center. He plays for the Suns.
Center,
Yusuf
a center,
Nurkic.
a
He's a
center. Yeah.
center. Okay, so he literally punched this guy in the face. He said it didn't mean to hit him. Okay, you can say that if you want, bro, but everybody can see the video. so yeah, we'll talk about Draymond for a second because you know the guy just can't seem to get out of his own way. But according to this story from TMZ, it looks like Draymond Green is going to be out at least 3 weeks because indefinite, means he can come back at any time.
Mhm.
But this looks like in the midst of his indefinite suspension, he's going to be out at least 3 more weeks due to counseling. So this article says Draymond Green out at least 3 more weeks after beginning counseling. Draymond Green will reportedly miss at least the next 9 or so Warriors games. This after beginning counseling following his second suspension of the 2023-24 NBA season. The Golden State Star has been barred from the hardwood since December 13th after he hit Yusuf Nurkic in the head in a heated moment during the Dubs' December 12th game against Phoenix. And according to the Athletics' Shams Charania, the ban will now go through at least the early part of January. Charania reported Monday morning Green has begun getting professional help while sidelined, adding that the 33-year-old forward has been understanding and prepared to undergo the process required to return to the team in a full capacity. Green has yet to issue a public statement on the suspension, though his head coach, Steve Kerr, said last week the ban makes sense. So that's pretty much all you need to know there. We'll go ahead and just show the hit for anyone who is unaware of Draymond Green's latest uh, basketball faux pas. Draymond's latest basketball faux pas. So here this is.
Oh,
man.
well, that's going to be flagrant.
Yeah.
Now they're going to try to decide.
My favorite part is his flop
It's going to be at
afterward.
least a flagrant one. It could
Like
be
it
a
was-
two.
Like somehow
Could be
that
an
was
ejection.
incidental.
Boy, that is a swipe across the face.
Yeah, like Nurkic hit him.
My thing is,
I'm going to get
it's like
Oh,
no,
man.
they don't
so
have.
yeah, there you go.
replays.
So after that incident, Draymond was suspended indefinitely, and now he's doing counseling. So, what do you make of the latest Draymond Green situation there?
Yeah, like I'm saying, like he's acting like the people don't have replay, that people can't just look at this stuff later. Like, so I think he's the first basketball player with CTE, man. Like, I don't know what's wrong with this man. I don't know what he does. I don't know how he trains. But he's clearly taking a lot of blows to the head. The wild part about this also is like the thing afterwards, like when they was, interviewing him, and he was saying that he was just trying to show the refs how he was getting tugged and he was just trying to sell the foul. But it's like, bro, you really trying to gaslight everybody? Like, we got the evidence right here. And the way he said it so seamlessly, I was like, there's no way he can try to defend this one. And then when I saw him trying to do it, I was like, oh, so he really is crazy. At least be a goon and stand on it. He still got suspended indefinitely, whether you stood on it or not. And so clearly nobody was buying your lame cockamamie excuse. So, you got the indefinite tag, which we turned out to be 3 weeks. So, the league, people can say whatever they want about back then. Now, how people there was, it was tougher back then. There were actual fights. Wow, all right, man. Grant or whatever. The game's soft now. The game has become more corporate now. We're trying to sell a lot of products here. All right, and we got a lot of investors. We have a lot of sponsors, and they don't want this type of behavior going on the court. So, outside the ticky-tack fouls, and I don't know what that's about. But when we start getting into who's tougher, back then we were, fighting, blah, blah, blah. They can show those clips of all the brawls and stuff, but the league don't want that. It's good pub, I guess, for whatever, the name people there in the news cycle. But at the same time, these investors and all this other stuff, man, the game has got more corporate and more business like. So this type of behavior drives people off. It turns people off. They don't want that. So now what they're doing with this shadow ban that they did for him, and then now saying, all right, bro, if you want to get back into the league, you have to go to counseling, say this or whatever. The whole horse and pony stuff they made Kyrie do. The stuff they made Ja do. I'm going to get help, y'all. I'm going to get help. So same thing here for Draymond. Hey, I'm going to get help. But I bet you he's going to come back just as crazy as ever, like everybody else does. This man is out of his mind. And so he's been displaying that all season. I don't know what's going on, but he's finally cracked. I don't know what is going on. This is the wildest thing ever. So for him to have these 3 incidents, now he can say that he was doing whatever for all those other ones, but this one here, you got nothing, bro. Everybody tugs everybody's jersey, bro. When I'm playing in the park, bro, I'm trying to get an advantage. He know I'm tugging. Just swipe your hand off.
Yeah.
But the turnover, boy, you gotta have screws loose. I saw one clip. I'll let you. I saw one clip of KD saying, "Yeah, man, like I hope he gets the help he needs." Like, yeah, man, go get some damn help, bro, because you're clearly off your rocker. I would love to hear more explanations of him trying to defend this, but I would love to hear. But yeah, that can't happen since he's going to get help. So I even think him admitting to his faults or whatever, him coming out of counseling, I still think that'll be entertaining. So I can't wait to hear what he has to say next to try to make sense of all of this. But what are your thoughts of Sir Draymond getting ejected yet again, this time for senselessly slapping or punching a man in the face?
The biggest problem that I have with this situation is I feel like Draymond Green at this point, to me, is to the NBA what these bad rappers are to the rap game. So, like, one of the reasons why I think we have such an overabundance of bad music in the rap game is at least in small part because there is no journalistic aspect of the music industry that checks bad music. Because everybody just thinks everybody thinks everything is good. So there's no element in the journalistic aspect of the hip hop space anymore where you have people saying you put out a trash album or this music is bad, whatever. Everything is good because all these people want to do is just have these artists on their side and put them on their platforms so that they can make their money off of what the labels pay to have them appear on these shows. And you don't want to alienate the artist or piss anybody off. So you become afraid, chicken shit, as I call it, to be critical of the music. And when you're afraid and chicken shit to be critical of the music, you create an environment in which bad music continues to persist. Because there's no check and balance. There's no one checking this stuff. There's no fourth estate journalistically that is there to say, hey, can we have a standard here? This sucks, bro. This album sucks. This mixtape sucks. This EP sucks. Whatever. This single sucks. This record sucks. That doesn't exist anymore. Everybody's just sitting there saying everybody makes great music. And I think that has worked to the detriment of the actual craft of the music itself. Draymond Green for years listened to people in the media excuse what he did because they said that's what he brings to his team. That's what they like. He's a leader. That's what he does. That's the value to his team. You can't measure in numbers because that's how he has to play. That's what he contributes to the team. He's a leader. He's this, he's that. His basketball IQ is off the charts. Blah, 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 blah. These were all the things that were said about him. And so I think it's a similar type of dynamic that has been played out where you've heard that for so long that now you don't think that when you actually do crazy stuff like that, that there's something wrong with it. Because for years, everybody's been excused. Like everybody will sit here and debate whether he should have been suspended or not. Instead of categorically understanding that the suspension was warranted. Now, granted, in this particular situation, because it was so flagrant, people in the media can't say that this isn't warranted because then you look like an idiot. But there's been a lot of situations in the past where Draymond went Draymond, and we had all of these, and there were all of these debates going on all of these shows talking about whether he should have been suspended or not.
Yeah.
And the ideology behind the debate is this is who he is. That's what he does. That's how he contributes to his team. That's his form of leadership. So he's drank his Kool-Aid for so long that now he's pushed the envelope to the point where you see stuff like this happening.
Yeah.
So all of it, crazy as it may seem, is not his fault. Ultimately, it is his fault because we are all responsible for our own actions.
Mhm.
So ultimately, is this his fault? Yes. Is he responsible for shifting his paradigm? Yes. But let's not act as though there were not environmental situations that were influencing the persistence of this behavior on his behalf. And I can only imagine if I'm coddled for years and years and years, as grounded as an individual as I am, if I have a certain form of behavior that isn't necessarily the most inviting and it gets coddled for years and years, I might act out from time to time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's human nature. So he's been hearing that that's what he has to do to be the leader that he needs to be for the team to be successful. He's been hearing that for how long? I've heard everybody in the media talk like that. It don't matter whether it's Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, everybody on ESPN basically talking about how that's how Draymond Green is. That's how he has to contribute to his team. That's the kind of leader he is. That's his level of intensity. Okay, let's dial it back because some of this stuff needs to be checked. It's not okay. It's not okay. You can't do that, and you can't make the assertion that you're trying to sell the foul. We see the video. That doesn't make sense, bro. I'm sorry. It doesn't make sense. Your fist hit this guy in the face.
Right.
So it's just like, hey, look, man, this to me is both an exemplification of what we see going on in this media climate where these shows coddle the shit out of these players, pro player this, all of this kind of crap, everybody is in favor of load management. Everybody's in favor of the supermax. Everybody's in favor of, players demanding trades. We just love everything the players do because everything the players do is okay and permissible. And now that's what we saw with Draymond. His behavior has been permissible for over a decade because they've been saying that's how he has to lead. So this is in part him, and it's in part what we see going on with this mainstream media stuff. So, I don't think he needs help. I think that's who he is. This counseling thing is a PR move, clearly,
exactly.
just like with John Morant is PR, so that he doesn't lose his endorsements and his podcast and his volume partnership and all this other mumbo jumbo that he has going on. Can't fumble the bag. So go to counseling so that you can sell that you're trying to get help. You don't need no help. He lives life like this. It is what it is. So, the media is just going to do what it does. This to me is a media circus, just like everything else. He's a victim of said media circus, but he is responsible for not punching people in the face. And if you need counseling to teach you to not punch people in the face, then maybe you do have issues.
Yeah, and this what's that? And this is the last thing I'll say about this. I mean, we've had our goons in the league before. I mean, like you mentioned, Oakley, Anthony Mason, all these people, like they've been, we've had people, PJ Brown,
Rajah Bell,
what's that boy Bruce Bowen.
Yeah.
We've had our people who played dirty, but their job was to roughhouse, Udonis Haslam, but Udonis Haslam, great example of he was the enforcer. Hey, don't come around here with the BS. He'll chest bump you. He'll get in your face or whatever if you even messing with the teammates, But he didn't do anything out of pocket. Hey, you can still be an enforcer without being a jackass. And Draymond Green hitting people in the nuts on purpose, doing all of this wild stuff. And it's just like, hey, bro, out of the whole game, I've never seen anybody behave like this. And that's a good point. I didn't even think about them coddling him, but yeah, it was stuff like the Sabonis stomp last year that people
Yeah.
were still going, "Oh, how many games is it?" Like, get him out of here. That was so pointless. Oh, but he was grabbing his leg though. See, he wouldn't have been in that position. What are we talking about? And then so Draymond, of course, goes on his pod or anywhere else and goes, "Hey man, woe is me, guys." And there's people who are siding with him. And that's what I'm saying. This one was so egregious. How dare anybody side with this behavior? To the point where I said KD was like, "Hey, Soap League gets the help he needs." I love that. That was great. But yeah, this guy is honestly, because I was a fan of him not being selfish on the court. He can still have impact on the game, even though he only had 8 points. I cared about that. But all of this other stuff, it's hard to be a fan of this man. And this whole season has been, you know what, Draymond? I wouldn't even want you near my facility if I was the Golden State Warriors. It's too much of a distraction. And anybody with that kind of seed of whatever, that narcissism, that gaslighting type of stuff, or come on, man, you know me, I'm Draymond. Now, why would I? No, bro. Save all that crazy stuff. So yeah, he's a crazy man. It's wild stuff, man. I could not believe this stuff.
Yeah. He has his fair share of apologists.
Yeah.
And he said, maybe not now, because as you said, this one is just so flagrant. But throughout the history of his career, even when he has done bad things, we're still debating the merit of we're debating whether he should be suspended or not. We're debating the length of the games. We're debating whether he should be fined. Some of this stuff shouldn't be debated. Just let it be. He's doing crazy stuff on the court. And for you to be suspended twice in one season, we're not even halfway through the year. All right, man. We need some reflection. But I do think that to a certain extent, his behavior is at least in small part a result of this media climate where not all, but most of these shows, most of these people on radio, podcast, TV, YouTube, wherever, most of these people, unless it's so egregiously negative, the player always gets the defense. It's always players are okay to do whatever they want. Demand trades, load manage, not play games, not play hard. You know what I'm saying? Demand all kinds of crazy contracts, even if it hamstrings the franchise. The media just seems to think that players are just well within their right to do whatever. But, see the previous topics that we've talked about where the world is literally in a state of social anarchy.
Mm-hmm.
And, this is just another example of it. Good luck, Draymond.
Good luck, bro. I hope you get the help you need.
Oh gosh, crazy, man.